Tom from the Metalheadz show here in Liverpool at the O2 Academy with Danny from Bury Tomorrow. How are you today, Danny?
Yeah, not too bad. Can't complain. Just got rained on, but it's alright.
You guys are about halfway through your UK headline tour. How's it been for you so far?
Yeah, it's been kind of surpassed all expectations so far, so yeah, can't complain. It's been absolutely positive, crazy. Last night sold out, and tonight looks like it might sell out, so yeah, awesome stuff.
Awesome. How have you found the reaction to the new songs live?
Yeah, really good. We're obviously doing Man on Fire, Watcher and Of Glory, so they go down really well because obviously they've already been out for a bit. And we're playing a new song, Torch, which is going down really well actually. It's always a bit weird when you play a new song. When you play a new song and no one maybe not have heard it, a lot of people may not have heard it yet, so it's really cool. It's going down awesome.
Speaking of the tracks you've just released, that's Man on Fire, The Watcher and Of Glory. Can you tell me why you picked these particular songs?
Well, Watcher was weird. We needed a track that basically wasn't a single, but kind of best showed off the album, I think, melodically and metal-wise. And yeah, and Watcher stood out for us as a really fast, kind of something different that we haven't done before. So we released that one. Man on Fire always kind of has been the standout track for us. And that it's just so unrelenting and really heavy that we kind of wanted to come back with a single that was heavier than all the other stuff that we kind of released. Then Of Glory is kind of in the same similar way. It's a very, very heavy track, very metal track, and we kind of want to show that we can do that side of things as well as the melody side of things as well. So,
speaking of the new songs, your new album Runes comes out in a few days. First of all, can you tell us about the writing and recording process of the album?
Yeah, I mean, it was fairly simple. It was Dawson and Adam, our drummer, basically demoed out a lot of the tracks, so we had pretty much a whole album worth of material, and then we went into a practice studio and basically hashed out all of the ideas, made song structures and made them all come together, and then demoed it again. And then we had time just before we went into the studio just to work out all lyrically and all the song themes and everything that runs along with it. So obviously Runes as a title and every single song that links with every rune, and yeah, that was really cool for us. And then recording, we went in with Mike Curtis, who used to be in a band called Faker Modo, and he's a good friend of ours, and he did Lionheart actually the first time round. So we knew it was going to be cool, we knew he was going to be able to get the best out of us, and we went in there, finished recording, which was really quick and easy process, and then we sent it off to Will Putney for mastering and mixing, which made it sound as heavy as it is.
So what's your favourite song off the album, and why?
As a standout track, it's weird because we've released some of the tracks now, so you kind of like, you don't want to say one of those tracks, but yeah, I think Man on Fire is one of my favourite tracks. But then they're all like, for this time it was the hardest decisions we've ever had to make were to do the singles on this album. Like, there's too many songs on there that we think could be a single of ours, so yeah, every track stands alone in its own right, and they're all so different as well.
Yeah. So moving on to the lyrical content of the album, you followed a theme with Union of Crowns. Did you follow a theme with this album?
Yeah, I mean, we did the whole Runes theme, and then I went back and had a look at some Norse mythology, which was kind of cool, and got delved into the Scandinavian side of things, where I could link each of the runes either metaphorically or literally to the stories of those runes, and it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool to do some research on it and actually, you know, understand it a little bit more. And I didn't want to be saying anything on record that wasn't true or didn't hold true to the runes. So yeah, it was a really cool process, and I geeked out a lot, and yeah, it was cool.
So who do you think's the coolest Norse god then?
Thor's pretty badass, like generally he is, or I think it's Heimheld, the Watcher. And obviously
is that named after?
There you go, yeah.
I know.
And it's when you really listen to it, like we've got one of the songs, Darker Waters, is about the Midgard serpent, which is obviously the serpent that dwells along at the bottom of Midgard. So it's kind of like it's incredibly geeky if you really look into it. But yeah, Watcher is about that, and Fire is from Manaz, which is one of the runes. So it's basically a rune that means humankind, and then Man on Fire. So each of the runes, if you actually look through them, they all mean something like that.
Awesome. So going on to the musical content of the album, how would you say it compares to the Union of Crowns?
I think it's more mature. I think it sounds like we've done a lot of touring since we released Union. I think, you know, with Dawson now in the band, I think it really has explored our more old school metalcore style feel. You know, we're very true to being metalcore. We always have been since we first started. But I think for the first time ever in the history of our band, all 5 members are really stoked on that style of music. You know, and I think it's not about changing our style, but it's about almost tipping the cap to that kind of music, those Killswitch Engage, As I Lay Dying albums, and the more metal side of it, you know. And I think this album does stand up like that, you know. It stands up as a metalcore album, you know, not the new wave of metalcore, not with synth or backing tracks or anything, but
Yeah.
very true metalcore, you know. And I think hopefully it stands up with those albums as well, you know.
Yeah. So last year you played Reading and Leeds on the main stage. You're playing Download this year, main stage. Are you excited for it?
Yeah, I mean, it should be great. I love playing massive stages. I love lots of people stood in front of me. It kind of makes my job a little easier, like when there's more people. But yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I'm stoked. We're privileged to be able to play that festival, let alone, you know, being on main stage. So yeah, I told Andy Coppin, the head of Live Nation, well, the head of Download for Live Nation, that he needs to hire more security, and because I'm kind of going to test the security out. So it should be really cool.
Awesome. And final question, are you guys ever going to record a cover like Livin' La Vida Loca again?
I don't know, there's been talks of it for like magazines, like some of the magazines have asked us to do certain things, which I think one may be coming out later this year, but start of next year, but I don't know, we don't really play Livin' La Vida Loca ever, so it's kind of like we've played it a couple of times. Like we did it on one of the tours we did when we were 2010. We did one tour where we did it on a headline tour, but yeah, I mean, it's weird. Like, you don't want to be defined by a band that does that. You don't want... You know, I think it's a bit of fun, and I'll always say it's a bit of fun, but I think it's gone too far now a little bit, and I think...
With the whole pop does punk, I mean, like the full albums.
I think it's just like, you know, at the end of the day, it's... Like, I appreciate it. When that first came out, I thought it was a great idea, but bands are getting huge off just that, and it's like, write your own songs, you know, and I don't ever, you know, badmouth bands that do that, because it is a great platform, but... It shouldn't be a platform to get big. It should be a bit of fun that you've done with your friends, and it's a bit of a laugh. Like Livin' La Vida Loca literally was that. Like we had time at the end of our studio session in Portraits, and we were like, it'd be an absolute laugh just to release this, and we did. And yeah, it was a laugh, and people are still asking us to play it on this tour, you know. So yeah, we haven't done it yet though.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for speaking to us. Appreciate it. Have a great show with the rest of the tour.
Thank you very much.